Hey guys, what's up? So obviously today's market was not very great. It is a very flattish market and it has been very flat from a very long period of time. But there is one sector that has been flying today, absolutely flying. And if you can see my screen, you will basically understand why I'm saying flying, because most of the textile companies today have gone up flying. Like literally they've been doing really, really well. But then a lot of people are asking questions as to Shashank, why are these companies flying? What is this? Is it a short-term impact or a long-term impact? And how are people playing this exactly, right? So let me explain very clearly what has happened in this market today first. Now, the first things first is there is a news that came out. And what is that news? It basically said that US has imposed 35% tariff on Bangladesh, right? Now, how does this change for anything? Because even in the past, Bangladesh was at 37% tariff and now they're at 35% tariff, right? But the advantage here, and which very few people know this, or the guys who actually bought know it really well, is that Bangladesh currently holds 9% market share in the US ready-made garment sector, and India holds just 6% market share in the export industry, right? Now, if you look at Vietnam, they had the highest at 19% market share. But Vietnam, again, last week, which was just recently happened, they also got a tariff of 20%, which means Bangladesh is at 35, Vietnam is at 20, and India is not, it's still at 10% right now, but the new mini trade deal is going to come and then there's a bigger trade deal going to come. But as of now, India does not have any huge restriction exports to US, right? So basically what happens is this becomes a golden chance for India to increase the market share because of the trade agreement with US India is supposed to happen soon. Now, if we get higher tariffs, that will become a problem. But before we get into the risk, and because we always have to look at risk, let us look at which stocks have actually gone up. And you can also see something slightly different in these stocks as well. Now, yes, companies like IndoCount went up a little bit, took a rebound back. Gokuldas exports went up and then came down, but it's still up 2.5%. KPR Mill also went up around 4% today. CRM Silk Mills, if you see, it actually went up quite aggressively in the morning and it took a nice rejection. That means if you see this big wick over here, that means a lot of selling pressure has come into the company. So it went up a lot and then it started coming down. Vardhaman Textiles, same. If you see it, it went up a lot, took a lot of selling pressure, came down. But still, it's up over a longer period of time. It's good. Kitex Garments up 4%. In fact, if you look at this, it is just taken a rebound from its 20 and 50. There were some other smaller, riskier companies, which is Phase 3 and Alok Industries, which also took a nice upward movement, right? But now the question is, yes, this has gone up. Some of you guys would have held textile companies, some of you guys don't have textile companies. But now how does this work? How do you play this, right? Now, if you ask me, right, yes, there is a window of opportunity. And why do I say there is a window of opportunity? Because right now Bangladesh is currently doing talks with US government and trying to get this 35% far lower. Number two, I don't know if you guys know this, but some of the companies that were exporting from Bangladesh to US were Indian companies only, right? Because Indian companies had their offices there and they were exporting via Bangladesh to US. But it's okay. Now most of them have, after the whole Bangladesh issue in the last few months, they have taken all of the manufacturing back to India and they're moving into India and pushing it from there, right? Now this has obviously become a problem because Bangladesh is now constantly going and telling the US government, please stop karo. Let us go back to lower tariff. Vietnam already did the negotiating and they're coming down to 20% right now. So now it all depends on this window where India has this small advantage because we are at 10, Vietnam at 20, Bangladesh at 35. Now, very soon, the Donald Trump and Indian deal is going to come out in the market very soon. They're calling it the mini trade deal. But I know there is a lot of pushback because I think US wants to enter the Indian agro space as well, which India is saying no. But we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. But if the new trade deal is advantageous, for example, if they say that, okay, now we're only going to put 5% duties on India or continue to remain at 10, or we might even go lower or zero deal at all, that becomes a huge benefit for all our textile companies. And not just textile, it also becomes a huge benefit for all export companies. Now, another advantage that the textile companies had above and beyond what happened with the US thing right now is also that recently in the past, if you remember the UK India FTA, which is free trade agreement deal that happened, India and UK decided that we will have no tax at all and no duties and all, which is obviously a huge plus point. And because mainly Indian companies are exporting a lot of textile and garments to UK. Obviously, Bangladesh also does it, Vietnam also do it, we also do it. But with the duties going down for India, because we have negotiated well, it becomes a higher attractive zone for companies in UK to actually outsource to India as opposed to outsourcing it to Vietnam and Bangladesh. And even if they do it to Vietnam and Bangladesh, they have to reduce their price so much that their margins will get affected and it might not be sustainable from a long term standpoint. So that's why I said before, people get very excited watching this, because I saw this all over Twitter today that textile companies are booming, going up, booming. It is a window. I keep saying this. Yes, the UK agreement is a long term impact because that agreement has just come into place. So that will go on for a longer period of time. But this US, and as you know, I don't trust how Donald Trump does his operations, because today he's getting up and saying India is my best friend. Tomorrow he'll get up and say get lost India. So that becomes a very big problem. So if you are invested in the textile space, then please be aware that this is a window. And when that trade deal comes out, which everyone is waiting and hoping that it comes out well, when that comes out, if India has lower tariff, then definitely textile will continue to do well as a sector, and we can already see multiple sectors are going up. But right now, from what I can see, the market is absolutely flat. It has no energy, no volume. After the Jane Street, you can see everything has taken a very big beating, and everything is now just chilling out. But it's okay. This is required for our market to start growing. And for all the people who are continuing SIPs, please continue your SIPs. Do not stop your SIPs. Okay. So I hope this video helped. This is for all the people who are invested in textiles. So be very careful when you see something like this. I'm not saying long-term game is not there. Long-term game is there. But the reason why it went up today is because of that window of opportunity, which might get broken anytime soon. Okay. If you have any doubts, any questions, you know what to do. Put in the comment section below and I will take it from there. Tata. Bye-bye.